welcome y'all to a very special episode of Tin Roof Podcast. Got to do a really cool interview with Jordan from Jordan's Harvest this weekend at Squadfest. It was a super fun time. Really want to spend too much time, whatever. Want to let you get right into the video, but there were some issues with audio. My mic didn't quite connect like I thought it did to my camera, so it actually recorded the audio to my phone, and it might be a little hard to hear, but I've done my best to up volumes to try and isolate mine and his vocals, but it was really difficult to do, at least from being a novice standpoint. Other people will probably be able to figure it out. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and thank you so much for tuning in. Is that one of the dive bomb bags?
Yeah, dive bomb backpack. I love their dry line stuff.
Their dry line stuff looks fantastic. I haven't gotten any of it yet, but I'm definitely a fan. The fact that they're displayed, you can have a shell bag and accidentally drop it in the water and it'll be perfectly fine.
Shell bags were a game changer for me. I'd never used shell bags until about 3 years ago, and I was like, who needs a bag? The box is fine. It's not that big of a deal, Who cares? I normally end up dumping it anyway into my blind bag and whatever. Then just being able to always keep it contained and dry, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. No wonder everyone gets it.
Yeah.
And then keeping snacks in it is pretty big also. So
yeah, I can't stress the importance of snacking enough.
Dude, I'm a big snack guy. But you don't get to this physique without enjoying the snacks. But yeah.
I understand. So talking about snacks, we'll just start there. So what do you normally take with you whenever you go out to the woods?
Well, being a butcher, snack sticks, summer sausage, those are things that I always have in the blind bag. Some of the guys that I hunt with definitely can tell about, after the first little rush of the morning and you're kind of just waiting there, that little lull time. A lot of times we're hey Jordan, what you got to eat? Start pulling stuff out. This last year I actually made snack packs just for the blind. Went and had 4 snack sticks and a few pieces of sliced summer sausage. That way I can, instead of opening a pack and handing it down, which is fine, but it's a lot more fun just be able to grab a pack, just one for you, one for you, just hand them out. But that, and I've always enjoyed gummy stuff, fruit snacks and whatnot.
Have you ever tried Haribo Twin Snakes?
Yes, and I have a love-hate relationship with them.
Okay.
They're great, except sometimes they get a little bit on the hard side. I'm not a huge, the hard, gummy bears and stuff. How some of the Haribo gummy bears, they can get tough, but yeah.
I always do what I call a freshness check, especially for the Twin Snakes, for that specific reason where I'll grab the bag and just give it a little one of the squeezes just to see.
I had made a snackle box a couple years ago, and I didn't use it all last year, but get one of those dry, just tackle boxes, the little flat ones, and then gone, and it's a lot of work to think ahead that far for a hunt typically, but I'd gone through and put different types of fruit snacks and gummies and stuff like that, and some crackers and this and that, and just had one that just pop open because it's dry, and open it up and grab a couple things, shut it, hand it to the next guy, and it was fun, but it's just a lot of planning ahead for me now to actually think to put that all together. But
yeah, what do I want to do here? So
on trips where I'm out of state or something like that, it's a whole lot easier because normally I'm not thinking about a million other things at the same time. So
right,
I do enjoy that.
So do you? How often do you get to hunt out of state? Because you're from Kansas, right?
Central Kansas, about 45 minutes from Wichita. I don't get out as much as I would like to. Not from a shortage of offers by any means. People have been very, very generous offering me chances to go out. It's just the butcher shop is the busy time is during hunting season because everyone's bringing in deer. A lot of time I'm cleaning up everyone else's messes and trying to get away. It's really difficult for me to get a chance to scout like I should, and so I've been really, really blessed. A buddy of mine runs an outfit that he allows me to go along, go help the guys set up, tear down, basically just be the guide helper, and then lets me hunt along with him also. So blessed for that, but I'd really like to do more outdoors or out-of-state stuff. And I do have a couple of guys at the shop that are definitely taking on a little bit more of the workload.
So is it your butcher shop?
Yeah, my dad and I, we have the shop together. He put it up originally as a poultry processing facility. We've raised chickens we butchered our own chickens since I was 7, 8, so getting close to 30 years now, and he's always wanted to do farm to table and just the freshest chicken he can get out there, the best product and all that stuff. Then he put up the shop, and it was only being used 1 day a week, and it was just a lot for him working a job and trying to keep up the butcher shop and all this different stuff. So I joined him about 7 years ago. We added the red meat side of things, and it's gotten crazy. It's one of the few things that COVID was actually really, really helpful with is all of a sudden when the stores ran out of meat, everyone found out that you can actually get stuff locally. So that helped us out a lot and just really grown, but that kind of limits my capabilities of doing stuff outside when my real job is, in the way. So
Right. How long have you been waterfowl hunting?
I have only been waterfowl hunting for 5 years, maybe 6 years. It was sort of just, it's something I've always wanted to do, but in my area, there was a group of guys that I always wanted to go goose hunt with. I got to go with them one time, like 12 years ago, but I don't really count that as getting into waterfowl. If you go on just a little one-shot hunt, don't go again for years, that doesn't seem like a good place to be like, yeah, I've been hunting since, so like, it's a little dishonest on it. But there's a group of guys, and got to go the one time. My uncle used to hunt with that group. He got cancer, died. Just they never like. I asked him, like going to hunt or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll let you know when there's a spot that you want to come along on. And years and years and years of never getting that call, and then being able to meet with some guys that ended up taking me along. It helped a lot when your uncle has the one feed in town that one year that the only place that has a 10K feed on it, and you're like, I got permission on it, and all of a sudden everyone's really willing to help, take you along, and
all of a sudden you get all kinds of friends.
oh yeah, everyone's willing to take you along for that one for sure. It ended up not being that great a hunt. We couldn't hunt it until the group that I went with. Then we couldn't hunt until a couple days. The feed is already starting to drain out, and it wasn't what it could have been. So like, oh, that wasn't a real good one. We'll get you on another one. The next one's a complete bust, pretty much. And so like that was garbage. Let's get you on. And then we had a banger. And by that point, when you're the snack guy, people were like, okay, the guy shuts up, puts up decoys, and brings food. I'm not bring him along more often. It just sort of snowballed from there. That was just a lot of fun to go out and do my own thing with my own group too. So
That's fantastic. I've only been waterfowling for 3 years. I was doing the math on it. Actually, we were watching one of your videos the other night. I had not watched the past, the most recent ones. I was like, I want to get caught up real quick.
there hasn't been a whole lot recently.
Well, yeah, and I want to get into that too, because like all these application thing and everything.
Yeah.
We put them on, and I was editing some video, and I heard you say how long you had been hunting at that point in one of the videos. It was like something about 4 or 3 years or something, and I looked over at him, and I was like, hey, how long have you been doing this? And he was like, well, you started really hunting again, because I hunted like during high school, and it was just here because I didn't know if there were any other options.
Right.
I knew like duck hunting was a thing, but I didn't know like how to get into it, how to do that. And I thought it was basically just like selling stuff. I didn't realize duck hunting was a
Yeah.
And so
You guys at least have water here.
yeah, we do have water. The past couple of years, not so much. And I know you had the same issue out in Kansas.
Yep.
Even in one of your videos, you're like, it's been so dry.
It is bad.
Have you, well, like this year with like the outbreaks of storms and everything, have you guys been getting like humbled with rain?
It's been all around us, not really hitting my town. We got some good rain, but not enough to make a difference, not enough to heal. So there's a lot of ponds that are still very much dry. You can tell who's pumping, who's not, different things like that.
This area is healing back, and we do have some like decent public land. Like, not all of them are draws. Like we've got a couple of draws like that are obviously the primary focus, but we hunt like typically non-draws because I hate them all. Sorry, you don't get to hunt today, feeling.
Yeah.
And so we actually went on a scout this morning, got our feet all nice and wet, walking around and looking at. The grass was tall and dewy, and somebody over here doesn't like getting their socks very wet, so.
Wet sock is terrible,
Wet
to
sock
be fair.
And I told him, I was like, next time we will bring buck boots because I was not expecting my feet to get wet. So that was it was nice we're healing here, still down in a lot of spots, but like our rivers, we've gotten out of our mix several times this year, like in Missouri, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And we have a smaller area called the Merrimack.
Okay, I think I've heard some people say it in passing.
Yeah. And actually, the Merrimack, they say, is like a fairly decent river to hunt. I haven't had too many to it, so. But yeah, but fishing, like, what happened? I guess it was because of it being, hunting and whatnot.
That's what my assumption is. YouTube is pretty good about being vague on exactly what to do. It just said that the majority of my channel had graphic content. So that's what it dinged me for. It just said graphic content.
That's aggravating. Like, did you plead your case at all or anything? Or?
In order to contest it, you have to actually go through and not just be like, I think it's wrong. You guys need to look at this again. You have to go through and you have to actually go into all their bylaws and tell them why you think that your videos are acceptable. So you have to go through their rules, list the things why you think that they're wrong and all that stuff. And I procrastinated a little bit too long on it. The butcher shop had a ton of stuff going on, and so I was already stretched pretty thin. And I waited until about a day or two before the deadline, because you have so many days. So waited a little bit too long, and then didn't realize how much legwork I was actually having to put into it. Missed my deadline, and then you have to wait 30 days, 90 days, 30 days. I think you have to wait 30 days before applying for monetization. But honestly, I was in a pretty bad mental state from just all the stress of the shop and then trying to keep up with the channel and stuff like that. And I was stretched real thin. I really wasn't having that much fun anymore, and I didn't realize how much I was missing out on with my kids and just the mental stress of everything. And I wasn't in that great a place, to be honest. And so being able to get back out of that, sort of step back, take a break. Sure, the channel took a big hit view-wise, but I'm a way happier person now. So it was definitely a blessing in disguise. So.
The importance on kids nowadays, obviously, you being a dad, it's so important, and like that's where our focus needs to be as dads.
Oh yeah.
I totally understand like that mental state thing, because like whenever my job gets busy, I can't like be where I guess want to be, and my focus takes a different direction. It does take a toll on me, especially like I'm a very creative person, so like that's my outlet. And so like not being able to do anything creative or even like spending time at home, there's times where I'm gone from the house, 16, 18 hours a day at times, and that's tough. And that relationship gets affected. And, so I totally understand it. What's a few new losses as opposed to like losing time with your family. So.
I have a real job, so it's like I'm not dependent on YouTube for money. It's really nice that it pays for the feed for all the different animals and stuff that I have running around. And
your farm looks so awesome in the video.
It needs cleaned up real bad, and I have made some progress. There's only so many hours in the day, and it just doesn't get cleaned up like it should be. But there's a lot of different fun stuff I enjoy with those animals, and being able to feed them for putting up some content about it works out very nice for me.
So do you eat your goats, or are they just more pets?
Originally, I don't like them, and we live on 3 acres, and about half of it we fenced off. It was I got the goats because I just wanted them to keep the pasture knocked down, and they did a great job of that. But then the one goat figured out how to get out, and then sort of taught the rest of them how. And so actually, I'm down to like 3 or 4 now. 5. I'm not sure. I got rid of pretty much all the boar goats, the meat goats, and just kept old Ferdinand, the ugly, the macho weather, and then a few of the pygmy stuff, because they're way easier to keep in. But they don't, the auction value isn't as high on them. But their lawnmowers, I was getting spread too thin to think that I was going to keep breeding them and whatnot. So the goats are definitely just to control the weeds and stuff like that.
That's fantastic still too, though, because 3 acre place, that's probably about an hour of mowing, even with a nice zero turn. So now you have real nice zero turns. That probably put like $150 into the goats, and now they keep them pretty well clear. So that's fantastic.
And you can pick up those pygmies, especially the adult ones. I think most of the time you can get them for under $100. I think I paid at the auction. I think I bought them for like 50, 60. Pick one up here, there. They're not always cheap by any means, but you can pick them up every once in a while. And it's just even throughout the winter, you can drop them and get brand new ones. But I just don't like to go shopping in the spring because they get pretty expensive. So breed them a little bit, call it good, run through again.
like coolest thing about farming is like you said with your dad, like wanting to be farming to and everything. Like that's how it was. That's how it used to be. Like look at like how things were back then. Tighter knit families, you know, healthier. Like there's so many benefits to it instead of like the on the go, like run thing. Now that you know everything's fast food, everything's you know how fast can we get it done and so on.
Yep. That instant gratification is very rampant.
Yes, and even with like talking about YouTube and everything, how many views am I getting? How many likes am I getting? And so, like to kind of take a step back is fantastic. And the thing that I was really glad about your channel, yes, you do music and stuff, but there's more than that. Like you show cooking, you show farm, you show auctions, all the different things that I've so cool. Although like one of my favorite videos that you do because I'm a cooker and because I'm a hunter is where you did the teal hunt and you cooked up the poppers there at the farmer's market. That, to me, that was one of the coolest videos.
I had a lot of fun doing that one. It was just, I wasn't sure how I was going to complete that video because I remember thinking like I need to finish this cook. I got everything set up to it, but you know, Saturday morning that's our payday because we do the farmer's market. We have the butcher shop and then we take a lot of our product to the city over and do the farmer's market there. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get all this done. We're grilling stuff for samples and stuff anyway, so go knock it out, have some people try it. So my cousins were there that day and all that stuff, so that was a fun one to do.
It was a fun one to watch, and you know, poppers. I love spicy food, so like seeing all the different peppers you had and stuff, it looked fantastic.
Awesome.
So like you were using like real charcoal. Like, do you do much like smoking, like low and slow on these? I saw you. What was it? Because the most recent video you put up was like a compilation of different things that you were doing. And you were working on. I want to say it was a cover, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. The guy that I get hogs from, every once in a while he'll have like a rupture hog or something like that, where one that's getting kept back, it's just not performing well, and we've dealt with this farm for probably 25 years, something like that, and so every once in a while he'll just throw me a pig and be like, it's gonna die anyway, so here, get something out of it, which is super nice, but it was a dressed out about 120 pound hog, and I left the belly, which is what you make the bacon out of, attached to the loin. So it's basically, you know, from the top middle of the pig down to the middle, so the whole middle section. And I went and hand cured the bacon part and kept it separate from the loin. That way it wouldn't taste like ham and bacon. And then after I got that cured, I went and kind of pocketed into it, stuffed it with cream cheese, basically made a popper out of it. It was the exact same things I do for poppers, just with a whole pork loin. And
that was like exactly what I thought. Oh man, look at all the pins right there.
There's a couple drakes.
Yeah,
Without the eclipse plumage.
Yeah, the eclipse plumage, which I've never really paid too much attention to a mallard in the eclipse plumage before. That's cool looking.
It's just looking at beaks.
Yeah, you gotta look at the beaks. Dude, that's cool.
Birds.
I do too. I mean, that's why we're here. Right?
Absolutely. It's like some of the people just don't get, especially on the pigeon content that I do. Pigeons are a huge deal. Like worldwide, pigeons. There's pigeons that racing pigeons that sold for $1 million or something like that, and it's just a big deal. Then you go, and I have all these pigeons, but also go out and hunt them. People just do not get how you can keep something and go shoot them. Like,
well, it's like so
difficult to disconnect. I mean, but whatever.
An issue that I've had recently, not so much with pigeons, but because of being a dove hunter, and like I'm so pumped for dove season, I'm like ready to go. But my family is like big in their faith with Christianity, and so my grandmother, because I asked her one time about a neighbor's property for dove hunting, and she's like, well, doves are sacred creatures, and I was like, yes, but there are scriptures that kind of like you gotta understand that, but at the same time, like with their faith, like they're not in the same place that I am, so like I have to like be careful like to not upset them, and so it's like, yes, but it says arise, kill, and eat. And so
he gave us dominion over. I mean, they're not. I mean, I can see how she could argue a point like that, but
I've made memes and stuff before, and I think she responded with her whenever she's like, doves are special creatures or sacred creatures or whatever. She said, I think I even replied with jalapenos and bacon. So,
I mean, I'll pray over them.
oh, absolutely. I will pray for them as they're getting ready to go into my belly. We actually made what I think it was it a gumbo? Or what was it that we made? Jambalaya? We took
like gumbo.
teal and dove and I cut them up and put them into like gumbo or something.
Okay.
And we made a roux and everything. I'll actually put the video up on my YouTube channel.
Heck yeah.
And talking about the dog, I'm also very if you haven't
Oh,
but,
dude.
talking about the pork belly, have you ever tried to do one what's called like chicharron pork belly, where you like get the like skin crispy, like where it's pork rind, but it's also like the bacon feel to it too.
I've seen a lot. We skin all of our hogs. I don't scald them, so we don't have a hide on or rind on bellies. I can order them in, but nothing I've really pursued because I'm doing my own hogs. I don't really want to get a whole bunch of other stuff in just to try something that I can't promote or sell. Because a lot of times, sometimes on the YouTube stuff, I'll actually take different clips of ways that I prepared something and then throw it up on the butcher site or the butcher's Facebook page, so people can have ideas of what to do with some stuff. And if it's something I can't actually sell, then it's like I don't do too much. But the whole skin on rinds, they sound amazing. I've never had it, but it sounds lush.
It's very good. I came really I was just a little bit shy. I ended up running out of pellets because I use a pellet smoker, and right at the very end you got to crank it up like to the max. So I was running at about 460 degrees, and it didn't it was bubbling like it was getting ready to crisp. I didn't quite get there.
Just didn't.
I didn't have any kosher salt, so I used table salt. Made it just a little too salty, but I was so close. I was right there, and I can't wait to try it.
That's one thing I love about food is just being able to didn't quite go this way, didn't quite go right, and being able to do it, just try again. There's so many different things you can do with flavors.
It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dude, that's the best thing about smoking and any of that stuff is getting that flavor in there is just so much fun. I actually, so for 4th of July, I told my wife, I was like, we're cooking a bunch of different stuff that we haven't really cooked before, and we're gonna make just a ton of videos. And so I like spatchcocking my chickens, or doing frog style. So frog style with chicken. I found a rub at Walmart that I had never tried before. It was something cool. It was something, and it had a chicken and a pig in a car on the front of it, and it's like a darker, it's blackened garlic.
Okay, right.
Roasted garlic, and it was so good. Probably some of the best seasoning I've ever had on a chicken. I used to have it in the but he quit working on me, so I had to slide the butter in the skin.
Do it the old way.
I was like, dude, stay in there, and then it's trying to slide it out with the skin on the other side. I'm like, no, stay there. The best chicken I ever had actually talking about farm table with a buddy of mine butchers his chicken.
Right on.
So sitting here having this conversation, you fit right in with my group of people.
There's a lot of things like that I wish more people knew how to do, because when it comes down to it, there's not a lot of people that know how to take an animal and then get it to where they want food next, or are just intimidated by it and are willing to try. And there's some people, oh, you might be mad at me, I butchered my own beer and all that.
Why would I do that?
The amount of people, I'll show you how to do it, do it yourself.
That's actually the video that my stepdad and I have been talking about doing on my channel. Is a deer butchering, processing a deer. Actually, I didn't get a chance to get a deer this past year. I miss every chance. Something would happen, and it just seems to be my luck. But buddy actually gave me one, and cut it down. I kept the bones this year because I wanted to try making some bone broth and stuff. But I did a couple of special cooks already with different things. We did almost like a roast beef thing where we slow cooked it and then did a quick sear. I made birria tacos out of the neck.
Okay.
And actually, I'm still in the process of editing that video, and I recorded it in March. Isn't it funny how that stuff works?
I have a video that I'm probably 10 minutes away. It's a non-action video. I've got probably 10 minutes of work to do on it yet for the last about a week. And it's just been sitting there because I've been getting ready for this and all that stuff. And not that I didn't have time, it's just some days make yourself sit down and edit. It's just the hardest thing in the world for some reason.
Well, because I think it's the A.D.D. I was there, did it, and
I already know what's going to happen.
Exactly. It's okay, well, fast forward to this part. Who do you use to edit, by the way? Because I use my phone.
Okay.
That's all I use.
Everything, I use Filmora from Wondershare, and it's $50 or $70, I think. It's a lifetime subscription to it, and you can. I don't even use the most of the program. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but I just don't have the time and energy to go in and actually do some of the fancy editing stuff. But it's a very easy one. The reason I went with that one over like Adobe or something like that is because I think Adobe is monthly. You have to pay monthly, but it's one that you have to keep up with. And this one is just, if I use it, if I don't use it, then it's already paid for. They did do one massive update where I had to rebuy it. But, you know, as long as I've been doing it, I've paid $100 for an editor, and it's just there. My wife needs it if she wants. It's kind of handy to have. It's really easy, especially when you're learning on like Kummer or something like that. Your hot keys make a big difference. They'll go way faster when you're not trying to use the mouse to move everything around.
That's why I like the app that I use. It's I can pay like one-time fee, but like I made a promise to myself like when I first started doing videos and stuff. I was like, I'm not gonna pay for editing until I actually like get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm right here close to monetization, then I'll do it. Right. What's the point? I'm just here having fun. Okay, like you said, it's just a creative outlet.
If you're not having fun, it will show 100% in all the content you do. Yes. I mean, if you watch right before I got to monetize and all that stuff, a lot of that season, we can tell like, I was having a good time, but I was not. People could tell I was not the same person that a couple years before I worked.
Well, and I think
wasn't as good.
I think that's what ends up happening is like not so much like losing motivation or like being happy with it, but that's where like people like find their favorite videos. It's like when you're in your rhythm and you're in your good time. Those are gonna be the videos that people really gravitate to. Like the one that I told you about, like being one of my favorites. Also like a bunch of your small farm pond ones where you're out there with your buddies, you know, early season hunting together. Your dove videos are so much fun. We're so close.
I know the sunflowers though that I normally hunt, the farm that I normally hunt changed farmers. Like it's owned by a guy that has just a ton of property across the state, and he has farmers for different areas. And they switched. The farm that had been doing it for as long as I can remember retired. So they have a new guy doing it, and 4,000 acres is a lot to add to your plate. And so he's still trying to figure some stuff out. But the sunflowers got blown out, I think, and so we had to replant. So they're like a month and a half behind, so I don't think that those will be available. I just gotta find someone to shoot some dove this year. It's weighing on me a little bit, like I want to go smash them, but
so
I don't have a spot.
Here lately, in the state of Missouri, sunflowers hasn't seemed to be like working because of how dry it's been. And so like a lot of places this year that I've like looked at immediately, not like haven't been like able to like scout the same reason I did the job and everything, and so haven't been able to get any much time aside from this morning. And so the places that I've seen, a lot of beans, a lot of corn. So it looks like probably like even like just CRP type stuff is probably going to be as bad as either beans or CRP for doves this year. But I'm still looking forward to it.
And there's a pond or two that would be good for a couple of months. There's a lot of people that have kind of figured out where those are and also hunt some of the same areas. So
that's the hard part about posting like hunting videos is like you're super excited about sharing stuff, but then people catch on.
Oh yeah, that's early stage. I definitely have ruined a couple of spots unintentionally. I used to go and do. I did for a little while, kind of like a whole setup, like birds are coming from this area, it's this far away, here's the shape of the property. I literally just played a blueprint out of exactly where I was. And it was pretty naive of me to think that people wouldn't just immediately go and try and snag it, I guess.
But the game plan and stuff was like so cool to me too, because that's what I kind of enjoyed that too, because you're like, all right, so here's where we set the decoys, and here's where they flew in. It was cool to see because it like helped me learn, but then at the same time, yeah, like the people that in your area, unfortunately,
they found it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah. I need to revisit that and see if there's a way I can make it vague, but also like somewhat helpful, hopefully. I mean, like I said, only having been doing this for so long, there's a big learning curve on why some stuff works, why some stuff doesn't, which was really helpful for me in the beginning, I think, a lot, because not knowing what I was doing, I made a lot of mistakes. Still make a ton of mistakes, but I think a lot of people are like, hey, he's an idiot too, what do you know?
And like, not that you're an idiot, but I think that's why like your channel is one of my favorites, is because like it's relatable. Like, hey, you know, I've made mistakes too. I miss whenever I shoot at ducks too. Like, I had a duck last year. The coolest one was him and I went on a teal hunt, and they flew in over to his side. I popped up, shot the first one, and I was using a pump, so I pumped the shell, like the edge of the casing caught in the like in the ejector. So I karate chopped it, reloaded the next one, and shot the other one like over the bank, and so he like back flopped onto his back, and that was really fun. It would have been like a cool like clip to have in one video. It wasn't videoing though, because it was, you know, I'm just enjoying being out here with my son. Oh yeah.
And
what?
In the morning, right after we set a teal did come in and like come flying.
Oh, you're talking about
right
whenever we
in front
were
of my
packing
face.
up? Yeah, we're packing up, and this duck, this teal slides in like right behind my calves. And my gun's on my chair outside of the water, and I'm like, don't go nowhere. And I couldn't get to my gun fast enough, and he was already in the water. I tried to shoot him. I was like, maybe I'll hit him.
And teal, they're like the smartest dumb birds. Like, I love how gracious they are. They're kind of like cutting pigeons almost, where they're like, these things are going to do this, most likely. And then every once in a while you have the ones that, like, how did he know that I had my gun over there? Or I'm out in the middle of the decoys. Why does it always happen like that? It seems like teal do that to me more than anything else. But
yeah, I think you're right, because I had a similar situation happen with a mallard. I hit him in the face. I don't know why he didn't block, but I hit him, and he like sat there and was like flying above my decoys like this, and went to reload, and the same thing happened. The casing caught on the ejector. I had to knock it off and like reload, but by that time he finally like came back to and like took off, and I didn't get him. But and that morning was a super morning. It was like 28 degrees. I had to break ice to like get out to my spot, and then like I'm standing in flooded corn like freezing. But I was like, man, I don't want to miss like the morning rush, but the morning rush never really came. And so like I looked down for like a minute. I can't even remember what I was looking at, but then I hear ring, and I look up and I'm like, oh, there he is. And just like that kind of stuff is so much fun. But we started the conversation on talking about dry bags, and I want to go back to that because that hunt specifically, man, I would have killed to have a dry bag. And like that's like I've had 2 hunts where I've really learned like how nice it would be to have a dry bag. I'm probably talking myself right now into going over there and buying one because like, they're cheap. There's a lot of options. They have them in stock right now because I looked in the past and they're out of stock. I was like, man, but you know, so to me, I'm looking in the middle of the season. Of course, they're not going to have.
yeah, it makes a big difference timing-wise. But the dry bags, the thing I love, it is kind of a pain at sometimes to do the whole roll up, roll down, stuff like that. But whenever I'm hunting, a lot of times I'll put my camera stuff in there, but I use mostly GoPros and stuff like that. Most of the stuff is waterproof. But if I have, you know, batteries and stuff like that, just being able to put it in something and know, like, I'm not worried about what happens to that is, there's a lot of relief that comes from something like that with dry bags. So.
For sure. And I mean, they sell themselves. I mean, they've done, you know, they've done videos. Look, you know, we're in flooded timber, and I dropped my bag, and you know, water's just pouring off into the bag, and you open it up, and shells are dry.
Yep.
That's, I mean, what better marketing can you do? And even you, like with all the different stuff that you've talked up about dive bomb in your videos and stuff like that, it's great products. And I mean, then they do stuff like this where we can come and hang out and meet each other and talk about how much we enjoy hunting.
And there's, I mean, I know dive bomb gets a lot of flack for a lot of different things, but the people, like I've got a great relationship with Cody and Asher and a whole bunch of the other guys there, and it's not just the products they make. You can find a silo that's probably pretty close to the same. You can find other different things that they have across a bunch of different companies, but the way they stand behind their stuff, Cody's one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet, and I mean, obviously with them sponsoring me on a bunch of different stuff, they made so I could do what I could do. I mean, I wouldn't be able to have the spread and stuff that I do to go hunt and all these opportunities if it wouldn't be for them. So obviously there's a lot of loyalty stuff for that, but just the people that they are, I mean, if you have a problem, you reach out to them and they're going to take care of it. I mean, they stand behind their product, just good guys.
Yeah, I got double charged. I've only actually ever been able to make one transaction with them because in the same situation. And it was whenever I bought my first stuff. I bought silos from them. I don't think I bought any floaters from them, but I bought silos, and I bought quite a few silos. I bought mallards and Canadians from them. And they took care of me with no charge. I ended up having to call back a couple of days later, and they're like, listen, you know, we're going to make it right, and they took care of it right away. Like, as soon as like they realized that they were still double charging me, they fixed it. Fantastic company.
I love the guys. They're a lot of fun.
So you also do a podcast of your own, right? Or you started to on Patreon?
Yeah, it's a mess. There's a couple of guys that I hang out with that sometimes get a little bit rowdy. It's not a great. It gets rough. It gets rough. It's the reason I wanted to make sure that we put it on Patreon is because it's not something I want to let my kids watch because we get a little rowdy sometimes on some stuff. And a lot of times it's not PC for sure, but
well, that's like another great thing about like how your channel is. Well, it's still set up that way. Is whenever I subscribe to it, I want to hit the bell, but I couldn't hit the bell because the way you got your channel set up is like set up like for kids or whatever. So, well, at least you know what? Maybe that's part of the issue because like it won't let me hit the bell to subscribe. And so, well,
interesting. I'll have to go back and look at some of the settings because YouTube does some weird. I can't say for sure that they do some stuff, but it seems like every once in a while some of the settings get just shifted. And I know I didn't do anything with it, but
well, I didn't even like see anything in the video. Like there was, I was like looking for a spot or whatever. I just put a deer on there with like big googly eyes. Was all it was, and they took the video down because the thumbnail had a deer with big googly eyes. They said it was, you know, threatening to animals. And so it's like, okay. Never heard of deer in bed. Like, that was like the whole fun I was getting at with it.
yeah.
So I don't know.
YouTube's weird beast.
It really
that
is.
stuff.
Even Facebook's gotten to it now. Like, you know, I've been getting notifications lately about like them limiting my like viewership or whatever. And like I go and I look at it and like, well, I don't have any restrictions, so I can just have any restrictions and fix this stuff. Why are we doing this? And I actually recently got hacked on Facebook where somebody made it look like it was like it looked super legit, and so I fell for it. And they were like, we reported it, you know, whatever. And I had just posted a video, and so I was like, well, there was nothing offensive in that video. Why would we be reported? I was like, maybe it's an accident. So I went to the speaker's phone. I was like, there's no reason for this video or something. I can't even remember what it was. Clicked it, and like what's in there, and my password was like an official Facebook page, and that's all it got me.
The way that they, some of those kind of like emails and stuff that they send out, like they look. If it wouldn't be for knowing that a lot of the, you know, certain places will not ask you for that type of information on an email, there's a lot of stuff I would 100% follow. It make everything look so legit, copy everything.
It's being naive. Like you were talking about your blind spots. I was naive.
It's way too trusting, probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't fall for it again. Definitely.
Probably, maybe.
The airport is right on the other side of the lake.
So definitely didn't get one step. I don't know. I think you can bounce farther. I do. So, no, I totally lost my train of thought.
I did too. Well, usually at some point in the 10-year podcast, we normally talk music. Like, what do you listen to on your way out to the hot spots?
Honestly, don't listen to a lot of music, especially going out. It depends day to day. The only I listen to about anything. You'll find back in high school, I listened to a lot of I would say Chevelle, Demon Hunter, things along those lines. Probably I used to listen to a lot of Breaking Benjamin, maybe some Mudvayne, but also like I would listen to Enya, the same playlist. So it was a little all over. The only music that I don't actually enjoy is country music. Country, bluegrass, just never been my thing. I don't know why, but it's just not my jam. So
That's the thing, is like different strokes for different folks.
oh yeah.
I'm very much a country fan, but I'm also very much, you know, a fan of a lot of the bands you listen to. Chevelle, Reagan Beach Band, my bands, some of my favorite bands. And so, yeah, like, that's one of the best things about music. And one thing that, on top of like talking about creating, that I wanted to like show for everybody is we are different, but we can find common ground where, like, yeah,
My wife almost exclusively listens to country.
she likes country.
I don't. I get in the car, she just shuts it off. Like, okay. Yeah, totally different.
My wife and I, we force each other to listen to music. It's like we can listen to this and you're like, although like with streaming stuff, I can't do that with her. So normally whenever she's in the car, I listen to her.
Yep.
So she's very much more of like a pop fan.
Some of the older pop, you know, back in my high school days, like, okay, you know, there's a little bit of nostalgia, so I get some of those, but very rarely is there anything that comes out mainstream right now that I'm like, this one slaps, I can do that.
Right.
Not much of it.
Well, I think we're kind of what are your plans for the fall?
Hopefully kill as much as we can, but the butcher shop is probably going to eat up a lot of time again. This last year there was a butcher shop that was way behind, and so they shoved the majority of their archery season deer my way, and I wasn't ready for that, so we did about twice to 3 times as many deer in that time span that we normally do. I'm not sure if the retention is going to be there, so trying to figure out if I can have time like I normally do early, but I'm going to try out. I want to shoot a bunch of geese. Hopefully, if we get some water, I'm not sure how the ducks are going to look, but that would be, if I get lucky, I'll go deer hunt. I buy a deer tag every year and just make soup out of it. I'm trying to remember the last time I actually went deer hunting.
Do you bow or do you rifle or what do you do?
I used a black powder because that was about the only time. Our black powder season in Kansas is like mid to late September. You get 10 days, and that was just being in a butcher shop. Like, you just don't have time to deer hunt because you're cleaning up everyone else's deer. And that was, you know, typically there's not a whole lot going on in September, and so that's when we would go out and muzzle load. I haven't done that in a while. I'm trying to think the last time I actually pulled out the muzzle loaders. But other than that, I would rifle hunt just because I don't have the time to sit in a stand. I cannot sit in a tree stand. It's 100% just go spot and stock type stuff. That's my. You can't sit still long enough to sit there.
I agree. And last year, because of like, I was having a couple of like physical issues, so I had to sit in the stand. This is so hard. And that's also why I love waterfowling, is because like you have the opportunity to move, you have the opportunity to talk, and it's definitely more my speed. But spot and stock, whenever I first like you saw it in a public video, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I'm trying to get to where I can get back to doing that.
Spot and stock. I'm not sure what about it is. Just being sneaky, I guess, is a fun thing to pull off. But I mean, deer are smart, but they're kind of like turkeys. Like they're really, really smart, and then all of a sudden you'll find one of the biggest box of rocks that, like, I don't see how people can't kill these things. So, but I've never targeted, you know, a specific deer or anything like that. Which, you know, I know there's people that really enjoy chasing all year after that one animal, but I think one of the reasons I love dove hunting so much is because I can shoot 15 of them. I'm a shooter, I guess. I just like the trick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But Jordan, thank you so much for joining me for a little bit. And,
yeah, appreciate you reaching out. Hopefully I didn't stutter too much over myself. So.
No, I think this worked out great, and I appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thanks, sir.